just wanted to come on here to share some tea with you this morning because one thing that I realized is that no one is under attack more than a person that's trying to do good. I'm going to say that again. No one is under attack more than a person that is trying to do good. And when I say that, I think of a lot of things. And hopefully it resonates with someone or talks to someone or speaks to someone. For me, my issue has always been my anger. So for me, I would be put in situations or under tests, and I will always fail because my anger was the thing that I needed to work on, that I kept letting get the best of me. Prime example, over the last couple of weeks, I have been experiencing people driving crazy, cutting me off the road, almost running me off the road. And anyone that knows me knows that I do not play when it comes to my kids. I don't care. Well, I didn't care who it was or anything like that, and I'm still like that. But one thing that I learned to realize is that it's a way to do everything. It's a way to address everything. So with that being said, when I got ran off the road, I just took a deep breath, and something just came to my mind and said, it's this time of year. Be ready for it. And when that came to me, I got into my word and I was like, what are you trying to tell me? And everything. So I'm just going to give you like a little bit of backstory. Friday was the most recent time that I got ran off the road. I just took a deep breath. I woosah, and I was like, I started thinking, like, this is something that you notice every year. It's getting ready to be the holidays. People are dealing with more depression, anxiety this time of year. So how can you guard yourself? How can you armor up? How can you put barriers in your life to protect you against this? Or you're going to find yourself still battling with your anger, your attitude, and stuff like that. So I took a deep breath. I did not respond. I did not react. And when I got home, I get emotional just like thinking about it, because God is so good, and God is capable of doing anything, and he's capable of doing everything. But one thing he's not going to do is what he called you to do. So with that being said, if anger or, clapping back was something I needed to work on, he's not going to take that away without me being the one working on it. So with that being said, I came home that Friday. I did not respond to that situation. I'm in school right now. I'm in the last 2 classes. I will be officially done my master's degree in December. I was not able to physically do an internship, so I had to pick a capstone class that ran from September into December. And then I also had to add on another class that was supposed to start this upcoming week and last until December as well. So when I came home on Friday, I got a call saying, from my classmates saying, I'm not taking that class. I dropped that class or whatever. I'm going to take this one. So I looked up the class and I did the research. I do school online. And when I did the research, I immediately dropped the class that I was going to be in, and I took this class. Now, let me tell you how God works. The reason why I chose online previously was because of my kids. I didn't want to have to rely or ask anyone to have to watch them. And, I'm at work all day. They go to school all day. Online really allowed me to be there for my kids. So I dropped the class, and then my peer, or, my classmate was like, it's a face-to-face class. Immediately, I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Because the devil wants you to worry about things. The devil wants you to not trust what you are supposed to trust. And then I was like, you know what? This class is not until December. I have more than enough time to figure things out. And then I just kept looking. I kept looking. Let me tell you how God works. Y'all, instead of taking a 7-week class, the class that I signed up for is 2 days. Did y'all hear me? The class that I'm taking now is 2 days. It's a Saturday and Sunday. Part of the class is me going to church. It's a religious class. Now, if that wasn't God that saved me 90% of the workload that I would have had by taking a 7-week class, and it's not a required class, it's just something that I had to take as an elective, as a filler. So in my journey of surrendering to God, I have a video on my YouTube channel, and I will put the link in here. But in my journey, I made a commitment that I'm going to surrender to God for a year. I'm no longer going to be making decisions on my own. I'm no longer going to be impulsive and not consulting with God before I do things. And every time, like, let me tell you the old me, before I did that, before I made that commitment, I would get woken up in the middle of the night. And when I would get woken up, I would spend time on social network. I would be online researching, or on Instagram, on Facebook and everything. And I deleted my Facebook. It's been since September that I did that, because that was something that he told me to do. And in me being disciplined and obedient, I listened. So now if I get woken up, it's usually because I didn't spend time with God. But when I do, like when I read my Bible, I listen to my worship music and things of that nature, like I sleep so peacefully. Like, it's kind of like him patting me on the back saying, I'm proud of you. You did what I wanted you to do. Just like on Friday, when I did not react to the person that was driving or try to run me off the road, he blessed me with this class. Another thing I have been trying to figure out is if he wants me to stay in Delaware, if he wants me to relocate, if he wants me to sell my house, if he wants me to buy another house. But I also know that whatever the decision is, I have work to do. I started looking at houses. The house had everything that I wanted to have. I took my kids there. We prayed over this house. The kids loved the house. Now, what is uncertain is if this house is something that I needed to see to build my foundation somewhere else, or is it something that I need to do like here? But another way that I was convicted was because I immediately was like, I knew once I shared this house or this story and the price with people, they would be like, oh, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? And again, the God that I serve, he can do anything. You know, Jesus helped somebody walk on water. Why can't I be that ordinary person that he uses to do extraordinary things? That might be my testimony, to sit up there and get people to trust his word, believe his word. And one thing that I know, 2 things for certain, is where God guides you to go, he will provide. He made me go to school. He made me get those degrees. So he provided a way for me to be a mom, to work, to also get my education without feeling like I was being forced to do something. Like, he cut my workload 90%. So that was him saying, daughter, I got you. I'm here along the way. Like, and just like people that suffer from addiction and things of that nature, like, they are tested the most because they are trying to do good. They're trying to change their life. And if you ever for a second question if you are doing the wrong thing, check out what's going on with you. If you are constantly fighting battles, you're on the right page. If you're constantly going through things, you're on the right page. But that page may also be telling you, don't resort to the old way that you used to handle those things, because maybe they keep coming up because you have not properly handled those things. So I just wanted to share some things with you. And I always like to share my testimony, share my stories, but also give you the backing of the word behind it. So like I said, I pray, God put it on my heart. So I hope that it resonates with somebody. I hope that this helps somebody that needed to hear it. So I'm just going to share a few things that are in the Bible that I was pointed out to, because I am a child of God. I am walking with God. I was not raised in the church. This is a new journey for me, because instead of having someone teach me and tell me the word, I'm now getting the word for myself. So I'm just going to share some scriptures with you all. My study Bible. And when you are new in faith or Christianity or any religion, it's always good to get something that's going to break things down for you. So I'm using my study Bible, and the first thing that I notice in here is I read this and then I go down to the bottom of the section here. And in this section, I'm on 19 up here. So I like to see what it's saying. So the first thing I see, I didn't even read the whole thing. It says, obedience is the mark of the true child of God. So listen to this, y'all. And I laugh, it's not funny, but I'm just like so amazed at the power of God, guys. You have no idea. It says, know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger, for the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. Therefore, put away all filthiness and rampant wickedness, and receive the meekness, the implanted word, which is able to save your souls. Then we come over here, and again, I'm on chapter 2, so I like to see what I'm reading. And chapter 2 is basically talking about choosing and being rich in faith, oppressing, and things of that nature. So the story that I like in this part was, and I'm reading this from my phone because I have my phone recording this, and it says, you stand over there or sit down at my feet. Have you not then made the distinction amongst yourselves? So he took the example that was given was a man that was that looked very wealthy because he had gold chains and things like that, fine clothing. And then there was a person that was poor and everything. And he's basically saying, have you not then made the distinction amongst yourselves and become judges with evil thoughts? Listen, my beloved brothers, has not God chosen those who are poor in the world to be rich in faith and heirs of the kingdom? So God created all of us in the wombs of our mothers. And you think that he did not know that some people were going to have different trials and tribulations and go through things, but also those people might be a part of your journey because you might need to see those things. Somebody could win a lottery or something like that and be poor one day and rich another day. That's why it's important to remain humble, because looking down on somebody else can put you in that same place. So that was another thing that I was reading today. As a part of being a child of God and being a Christian and being obedient, stop looking down on other people. You never know the battles. A lot of times people always see the program without the progress. So you never know the struggles and tribulations that people are dealing with on a daily basis. So those are the two scriptures that I wanted to point out. And in another video or in another post, I recently shared this word as well, which is faith without works is dead. And you can do all the good in the world, but if you don't believe that God has the power to change your circumstances, you're still going to be in them circumstances. So that is a constant reminder, even with the house. I don't care if it was $1 million house, why not me? God has been showing me for years the power that he has to do to change my life around. And because I wasn't standing on his word, I wasn't spending time with him, I was missing it. I was missing opportunities. But he is a open arms kind of God. And as long as you repent, you make right with him, you stop looking for glorification from other people, because the devil is going to put those doubts in your mind. Like, even for me starting a YouTube channel, like, I was such a perfectionist, and I'm like, people are going to talk about this. What about this? And then I just had to say, am I doing this for people?